Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Smackdown review. Ah, I don't know what to say about this show. Obviously, before I even get started, before SummerSlam, already this show, we've got a program all set up for SummerSlam with Shitcake Nakamurphy, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. Already I made the video. I said enough is enough already. I made my video against Nakamurphy saying I don't like him. He's too dangerous, and I voiced a bunch of other opinions about him, but mainly almost breaking Cena's neck. And it's pretty much split down the middle. There's a lot of people I'm happy to see who are not crazy about this guy, not ready to just hand the entire WWE over to this Japanese dude. Anyway, we'll get to him in a minute. We've got a big interview with Nakamurphy later on in the show. I'm going to talk a little bit more about him later on in the review. We start off with Cena. Cena's putting over Nakamurphy. Nakamurphy is great. He's the better man. Like he said, no interference, no shenanigans. It doesn't happen that often. It happens a little too often for my liking. He's already lost to AJ Styles. He's already lost to Kevin Owens. It happens way too often. John Cena loses way too many fucking times. And, I'm not liking Cena on SmackDown, to tell you the truth. Because they're using Cena now as a tool. Even I complained at times that Cena, should have put people over. Like I complained that he wasn't putting Ziggler over enough. And I see the reason why they didn't do that. If they're not going to fully commit to a wrestler after beating Cena, if you're going to beat Cena, that means you've beaten the best. That's like pinning Stone Cold. If you're going to pin Stone Cold, if you're going to pin The Rock, you better be one of the best ever. You better be ready to fucking shotgun that guy to the moon. I mean, you better be fucking ready to make him the next big, massive fucking superstar. Because otherwise it's going to look foolish. Like Kevin Owens beating him. Or AJ Styles, right back to the mid card for AJ. What happened? He beat Cena and he's back to the mid card already. This is why they had him beat Cena. It's going to be the same thing for Nakamurphy. He might win the title at SummerSlam, he might not. But sooner or later, we're going to see the guy just go back down the card again, and it's going to be time for the next NXT guy to take the place. Does anybody see a theme here? Anybody see a theme? And don't blame it all on McMahon and the writers, because it's also this. They're not, these people at the top, they don't have enough to get themselves over. They obviously don't have that natural charisma. Yes, you need to have good writing, that's true. But you also have to have the right guys in place. It wasn't just the good writing that put Stone Cold over, or not the best writing to put The Rock over. Yes, you give them a spot, but it's also up to them really to get themselves over. And if you can't get yourself over, that's too fucking bad. Anyway, Baron Corbin comes out. Um, I don't know what was up with this. They said that Corbin, he called him skinny fat, which was a term that Triple H used a couple of years ago to describe CM Punk, believe it or not, and called him a dumpster fire. I'm not really too sure like why he's putting over shitcake Nakamurphy so much, but then they tell Cena to just, degrade Corbin. I didn't really see the point of that. It was Kevin, the skinny fat thing. Wait, was that Nash or was that I think it was Triple H. Whoever the fuck it was one of them that said it to Punk. I didn't understand this. Daniel Bryan comes out and says that, Corbin's obviously not dressed to compete. Did anybody catch that? So he's going to make the match at SummerSlam. Um, He always dresses like that, you fucking idiot. Hey, I don't understand what that was all about. Doesn't Corbin always wear a t-shirt and those pants? You're clearly not dressed to compete. Like I said, that's his normal attire in the ring. That's his gear. He doesn't wear like fucking tights or anything. I don't understand what that was all about. You're not dressed to compete. The guy is dressed to compete. He was wearing what he normally wears. So the match will happen in SummerSlam. I don't know. I was confused by this. I didn't get why they called him skinny fat, making fun of him. Usually skinny fat means that, he like doesn't work out or anything like that. But if you look online, Corbin is like deadlifting quite a bit. Um, I will say that Corbin is, definitely not as detailed as you would want him to be, being in a big position like that. But he's definitely not skinny fat. I don't understand why they chose that word to describe him, that term anyway. The Usos defeated bitch boy cab driver Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger. Why? What was up with this match? Why were these two guys just randomly tagged together like out of nowhere? No backstory, no nothing. It's kind of like, usually when they do this, it's like these guys are the bottom of the barrel. It means they're scraping, tag teams together, just to put together some artificial tag teams. And what happened to Mike Kanellis? What happened to that feud with Sami Zayn? He trades victories with him. And then, now he's teaming with Ty. And I'm still not getting the YWC. They're obsessed with two people. Well, they're obsessed with many people besides fuckboy Balor. But when it comes to SmackDown, they're fucking obsessed with this guy, Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger is like a fucking, like, Mama Luke. He writes on Twitter that he slept with Mrs. Wife, so he's in the doghouse, and rightfully so. I mean, like, who the fuck writes that about a married woman? I mean, and the thing is, it's like, what is the appeal with this guy? Ty Dillinger doesn't have a look. That's probably why he didn't make it the first time around. And, also fucking mouthing off when you're not even that great is a bad move as well. And Sami Zayn, how could this guy be any more worthless? And the YWC will make the argument, why is Sami Zayn not getting pushed? Why are they not making more of Sami Zayn? Because Sami Zayn is not over. Look at him. You really look at, like, I don't understand. You must be looking through, like, people when they look at, like, through the eyes of a mark, it must look like a fucking kaleidoscope. There's fucking weird ass colors in there. You're seeing shit very, like, all obscure and shit. It's all floating around, like, because when I look at Sami Zayn, I see like nothing. I see just a plain motherfucking Mama Luke. I don't see a guy that's got superstardom written all over him. I don't see a great wrestler. I see a guy that does a few high spots. This guy has like the worst plain build I've ever seen in my life. He's got a fucking gut. Like, no detail on this guy. Oh, Brad, you just want big muscle, man. Oh, what are you, gay? No, but the thing is, these guys wrestle shirtless. Do you really want to see wrestlers out of shape when it is their job to take off their fucking shirt? And does anybody even realize that half the roster wrestles with a t-shirt on? It used to be back in the day, Road Dogg was like the only wrestler that wrestled with a t-shirt on. Now like half the roster wrestles with a t-shirt on because they don't feel like working out. I remember when people had a fucking fit the first time Cassius Ono, Chris Hero got released from NXT with Triple H. And why was it? Because he said that Cassius Ono should have worked out a bit more. What is wrong with this world? Like, I'm seeing a correlation here. I don't usually like to mix my wrestling with my politics. I keep those videos separate. But I can't help but feel a little bit of a correlation here. You're not allowed to talk about the genders. You're not allowed to, like, talk about a person's weight because it's fat shaming, even though they might be 500 pounds and you're just trying to help them. It's the same thing here. It really is. It's about being too politically correct. Oh, you want to tell Cassius Ono to work out? Well, yeah, the thing is, the guy doesn't have any detail. He's a wrestler, he's supposed to look good because, he's like an athlete. And athletes are supposed to look impressive, especially when they're fucking wrestlers. Because the whole idea of being a wrestler is supposed to be that you're supposed to look tough and intimidating. And you're supposed to have a look to you that, gets eyes on you. Because, your job is that people look at you for a fucking living. So you might want to actually, look good for the audience. So what a fucking novel concept. So everybody got on Triple H's case. Oh, how can you tell him to work out? All you want, you're obsessed with muscles. No, Triple H just believes that guys should probably look good in the ring. Because, like him, he comes from a time when people used to have to work out or they weren't going to get that far. And they probably wouldn't even make it to the WWE in the first place. That's the fucking crazy thing about it. But you're not allowed to tell somebody to go work out. You're not allowed to tell somebody to go to the gym. I don't fucking get that at all. So, like, you've got guys like Sami Zayn and Ty Dillinger where it's just like, look at them. Like, these guys don't work out. They don't look like fucking stars at all. And they don't even have charisma. You could say the same thing about the Usos. They wrestle with t-shirts on, but they have charisma. It's got to be one or the other. Either you look impressive or you have charisma. If you don't have either, then get the fuck out! If you don't have either, then what are you doing in this company? Like, who's hiring these guys? They're great wrestlers. Okay. But I'm sorry, but that's not enough, and it's never been enough. When you look at the top guys in the company, when you look at the ones who've truly been over, it's never been a matter of they could wrestle or, 5-star matches. Stone Cold, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Ric Flair, all these guys, it was never a matter if they could wrestle or not. It was never a matter if, like, if they were the best wrestler of all time and they could do 5-star matches. That was never the case. You had to be able to work in the ring, but that wasn't the sole determining factor. Now it's like, if you can't wrestle well, then you're going to not make it according to the hardcore fans. And I never understood this because all these guys had like a backup. If they weren't that great in the ring, they were either good on the mic or they had a look to them that could carry them to the top. Basically, it's never been about who could wrestle the 5-star matches. If you could do that, then that's just an added plus. It's never been like you're the greatest of all time just because you could wrestle a 5-star match. Because really, that's not what people care about. The people who turn on this show, whether you want to admit it or not, were casuals back in the day, where they were looking for entertainment. They weren't looking for what's the best fake match that could be put out. So you have to have charisma. You have to have a look. And shouting 10 is not enough to get a guy over and bring him to the top. Can you believe that people are screaming to push a guy who shouts 10 and doesn't even have a look or any real charisma to speak of? Besides shouting 10, and you like to shout 10 along with him, what is it about this guy that makes him great? Could anybody explain it? No, you can't, because he's not. And there aren't any real reasons. You're just obsessed with him based on a fucking chant that, that got over with the hardcore NXT fans. But nobody else besides the goof holding the 10 in the front row, really cares about. The New Day came out. It was nice to see the New Day actually acting tough for a change, and they weren't acting like fucking goofballs. Because I said a number of times, that's getting very fucking old. The Usos bailed out before they could get hit by the chairs. Fashion Peaks was funny. We got to see Arn Anderson grabbing some donuts. Um, you see the ascension, and you see what these guys are capable of in the way of comedy. And you see these guys have personalities that are begging to get out. Why don't they do something with these guys that could be funny? You know, like, I'm not saying that you have to make them into total goofballs, but you see that these guys got charisma, and you see that these guys are contributing to the show. They're really trying to get themselves over in these segments, and they're succeeding to a point. Not sure if they're truly over. It's not like people are going to go out and beg for Ascension t-shirts. But you can see that these guys are really trying to be funny and add as much as they can with the given opportunity of being in these segments. So I need to ask, like, are we going to do anything with the Ascension? Are we going to do anything with the Fashion Police in the end? These segments are good. I just wish we could see more of them. You know, it's like after the segment's like 2 or 3 minutes and then it ends, and then we don't get to be entertained anymore by these guys. You know, like, they need to seize the moment more, WWE. Carpe diem. You know, like, they're always like, oh, well, we'll get to it next week. We'll get to it next week. Why not put, you know, sometimes you have to put your eggs into one basket, motherfuckers. Because the way that WWE tells stories nowadays, look how long it took to tell them the story of Seth Rollins and Triple H. 2 fucking years for that fucking bullshit. Like, even more than 2 years, to the point where it was like ridiculous. From 2014 all the way up to 2017. It took them fucking 3 years actually, to tell a fucking story. And, you know, the match has ended, and we're not even thinking about it. They take too goddamn long to tell a story. They need to fucking hit fast forward a little bit and move a little bit quicker, because they're taking too goddamn long to tell a fucking story that isn't even that hard to tell. And you could be equally as entertaining. Don't worry about it overstaying its welcome. Oh, we don't want people to get sick of Brock Lesnar. And remember, they said the same thing. We don't want people to get sick of Sting. To get sick of Sting, he just got there. You know, like, remember back in when we were talking about this in 2015, how they were scared that somebody was not going to get old, that they were scared that people were going to get sick of somebody. You know, it's like to the point where it would make sense for Brock Lesnar to interfere in a match, and they're too scared to book things. Your ratings are in the fucking toilet, and you're still scared that you're going to overdo it. Please, overdo it a little bit, because, like I've said, you guys act like you can afford to lose more viewers. You can't. You already are doing pretty fucking bad when it comes to ratings, guys. It's not like you can afford to, oh, we'll do it next week, we'll do it next week. Start doing it this week. Start adding more to the stories. Fuck it, you know, I mean, like, go all out for a change, guys. Like, what are you holding back for? We all know that you guys could just go fucking crazy. Like, now's the time. Do it. Do anything. You might as well. Like, you're not going to gain any new viewers, and you're not going to lose anybody. These fucking shitcake Nakamurphy marks are still going to be watching whether you make him lose at SummerSlam or not. Yes, they will complain and they will bitch, but they're going to watch because they can't wait for the next Nakamurphy match to happen. So they're not going anywhere. So stop catering to their asses and stop, you know, oh, we need to focus on this. We don't want to make the people get... No. Give us more of the Fandango, Tyler Breeze shit. Do more with the Ascension. These guys are the most entertaining things on the show, so you might as well extend that and do away with the 10 bullshit, Because nobody wants to see that besides the most desperate fucking marks who obsess over Ty Dillinger and that fucking taxi cab driving moron. Charlotte defeated Lana. I'm not getting this at all. What is this storyline even about? Lana lost again. Okay. I'm not really getting what they're trying to do here. Lana can't wrestle. What a great storyline. Okay. You know, it makes no sense. Styles and Owens are out there so Shane can lay down the law. They start arguing a bit. I didn't like this. I've always said I don't like wrestlers apologizing, heels apologizing. Owens, I'm sorry for yelling at you last week, Shane. Yeah, I know it's because he doesn't want Shane to screw him. But back in the day, you know, it's like a wrestler wouldn't care. They would overcome the odds no matter what. You know, if they were tough enough, they'd win the match. They'd find a way to win, even if they were going to get screwed over. I'm sorry, Shane. Like, what the fuck is that all about? I don't like it. I never liked when they do this. And at least they acknowledge that Shane has been a crooked referee in the past. You know, Owens brought up the network. I almost thought for a minute they were going to throw to a video package of all the times he screwed people. And then you have this part where they start brawling or attempting to brawl. Shane's trying to separate them. And AJ does a Pele kick, kicks Shane, and Shane's just like laying on the mat looking like him. Like, is he going to get up and is he going to retaliate? Shane McMahon, this guy's in the ring, and he's towering over both of these guys. An authority figure is towering over two wrestlers. And I'm taking a look at this, and I'm saying, like, how awkward this looks. You have two wrestlers, two former world champions here, being towered over by an authority figure. If, you know, does it ever set in that, like, it looks a bit ridiculous that these guys are supposed to be heavyweight champions and they look the way that they do? Now, I'm a big AJ fan. I think this guy has got a lot of charisma. He's got great ability. He does have a look to him. Kevin Owens is not bad either, but he is a fat slob. I've said this time and time again, but you know, it's like something's got to be done. They got to at least do something to stop this already. Because it was the same thing with Dean Ambrose towering over AJ Styles. It's like, it's a bit ridiculous already. You know, you can't put these guys in positions where they look like fucking small children half the time in comparison. Looks retarded. And Shane McMahon looks like an idiot laying on the mat staring at AJ right after he clonked him in the head. Like, oh, okay, oops, you made a mistake. No, get up and tackle that motherfucker and start beating him up. He just fucking assaulted you, you fucking dumbass. Tamina and Lana are in the back. Tamina's telling her that, you know, even she got like 3 straight title matches, she's not going to be a great wrestler. Okay, then why are we putting her in matches? Now Tamina said that Lana's going to help her. I'm not really getting this storyline. So we put Lana in all these matches, and it's just like she lost all of them, and we're not going to do anything. What story are they trying to tell? What is up with this relationship? So Tamina is like trying to help Lana, and she didn't really help her, so now Lana's supposed to help Tamina? Huh? Like, what story are you trying to tell here? Makes no sense. They just write this shit out, and they don't even care, like, how it's going to be perceived by people. I'm perceiving as it not making any fucking sense, because it doesn't at all. Just like Daniel Bryan telling Baron Corbin, you're not dressed to compete. That's what he always wears. Like, do they, like, have these guys say these things? Is this how it's scripted out? Most of it is. It's so scripted to the fucking point where it's like they're not gonna even proofread this shit. They just like made two things that don't make sense on this show at all. They like, why is she going to help her? If she was unsuccessful, she's a bad wrestler, she's no good, then why would she even want her around? Carmella defeated Naomi. James Ellsworth returned. And I gotta say, I'm actually happy to see Ellsworth back. When I saw this guy for the first time, where I said he pinned AJ, I didn't like that at all. I said, who the fuck is this Mama Luke? What the fuck are they doing with this company? But now with Ellsworth in this position, it works. It's funny. It's entertaining. He is an entertaining guy. I can't believe that they have somebody like this working for the company that looks the way he looks. But he does have a look to him. I will say that. This guy has no fucking chin whatsoever to speak of. The guy with the invisible chin. And, he's like the opposite Crimson Chin. From the Fairly Odd Parents, I guess you could say. Anyway, it was entertaining to see him come back. And they interacted with a bit with Natalya in the back. Natalya has to like fucking loosen up with her fucking promos. She's like beep beep boop boop. She's a fucking like robot half the time. Fucking loosen the fuck up. I mean, my God, this is why they gave her the farting gimmick, because she's too fucking uptight. She needs to be like her dad a bit more and just let loose already when they give her mic time. Nakamurphy had an interview with Renee Young, and Wade Keller finally got his wish, and he's not happy. He's like, oh, Nakamurphy, it's just not in his DNA to put the WWE and Cena over. Not in his DNA. How about this? You don't fucking speak English, you fucking moron. You know how much they probably had to script this shit out for him because he doesn't speak the fucking lick of English? Oh, you're racist, Brett. Shut the fuck up already. It ain't about being racist. It ain't about hating on Japanese people. The fact of the matter is this. This is why no Japanese guys have gotten over in WWE like Taka Michinoku and Kenzo Suzuki and the rest of them. Because they don't fucking speak English. They come to this company. They don't want to learn English. And it's hard for them to work with them on promos. It's hard for them to get over with an English-speaking audience when you don't fucking speak English. What do people not understand about this? There's people in this world that don't speak English. And it's hard to communicate with them because they're speaking a different language. You can't just say, oh, it's racist. That's what I'm saying. This is why there is a thin line between the political correct bullshit and WWE, because all these hardcore fans, they're snowflakes. That's why they like this watered down bullshit version of WWE, because it fits in with their fucking snowflake ideology. Oh, let's play nice. Let's be all inclusive. No! You don't speak English. You shouldn't even be on the fucking roster. Enough with this bullshit already. That's why he was in New Japan for that long. Because he fit in over there with a Japanese-speaking audience. This promo was boring as fuck. Because it sounded so fucking cookie cutter and so by the numbers. Because the guy can't get himself over because he can't fucking speak English. There's only so long we can take of this bullshit with the fucking butterfly hands. Every single time coming out with the butterfly hands. That's not enough to get somebody over, you fucking Mama Lukes. How many times do I have to understand? So here's the thing. He don't speak English. The guy is a dangerous motherfucker in the ring. So what do you want this guy to do? And these people are fucking rabid. I remember, like I said, 2 years ago, when I said that the Sami Zayn Nakamurphy match was overrated. I can't even begin to tell you how many people fucking attacked me and said I didn't know what I was talking about, that I should get out of the YWC. They thumbed down my video because I said the match was overrated. I've never seen so many people get so worked up, get so overly sensitive over a fucking wrestling match, over a fake fucking match. And the funny thing is, I remember it was the last time I rated something. I gave the match, I didn't give the match 5 stars or whatever. I gave it like 3.5 stars. I said it wasn't the best match of all time like people were making it out to be. And people had a problem with that. Oh, what? You don't want to rate it 5 stars, asshole? Thumbs down. Fuck you! If I don't think a match is entertaining, if I don't think a guy is right for WWE, I'm not going to fall in line with the rest of the marks. That's why you guys are marks. See, you don't understand. You can still be a big fan and you don't have to be a mark. You don't have to sit there and go along with what everybody else is saying because it's trendy. Yeah, all this trendy shit, nobody even gives a fuck about wrestling. Nowadays, they struggle to get 2 million viewers. It used to be that they struggled to get 3 million. Don't you see every couple of years it keeps falling down? Soon they're going to be in Global Force Wrestling territory. You know, the same thing, TNA was going to last forever. TNA doesn't even have its name anymore. It's not even TNA anymore. It's been taken over by Global Force Wrestling. And that's why I don't even make videos on it anymore. That company doesn't even matter. Then you had your main event. It was Orton versus Jinder Mahal. And you see, this is how you have a match. Now, I don't get why they didn't have Rusev interfere to have an out for Jinder to kind of cover for him. Instead, they went with a clean finish with Orton winning. But you see how this match was wrestled compared to the main event last week? Nobody is getting tossed on their neck. Nobody is risking paralysis or their fucking life just so they can entertain with a single fucking match. They managed to entertain, do a nice match right there. You know, they got the point across that it's a grudge match. You know, and the thing is, they didn't have to throw each other on their fucking necks and then have the fans making 1,000 excuses. Oh, well, Cena fucked up the move because he doesn't know how to wrestle strong style. Fuck your fucking strong style already. That's how you wrestle a fucking match. And I'm going to make a plea to WWE right here. Don't you fucking dare give the fucking belt to Nakamurphy just to please a couple of fans. Look at your fucking ratings, for God fucking sakes. Stop making excuses. Oh, DVR. Oh, internet age. Oh, it's a different time. No! The people are not watching because you keep fucking trying to put over these guys that no one gives a shit about. Nobody cares about Nakamurphy except for this little niche audience that you're catering to at the moment. The YWC is not an accurate depiction of what people want from wrestling. It is a very inaccurate depiction. It is a bunch of fucking nerds, geeks, morons, and mamalukes that don't know what's good for the company in the long run. They only want to see their sick Japanese Oriental hentai fetishes come to fruition, basically. That's all it is. I mean, because when they ain't watching hentai, they're watching fucking WWE. So, you know, Nakamurphy is the flavor of the week. We love Nakamurphy. You guys also loved American Alpha, but then again, you're fucking booing him on Raw, you fucking mamalukes. And then everybody is like having people are trying to rationalize it in my Raw review comment section. Oh, the thing is that they're unhappy with the way that the storyline's going, so they're voicing their opinion. Well, I don't like the fact that they had Nakamurphy almost break Cena's fucking neck. You know, so it's like, so I guess we're fucking even there. Always making excuses, always making weird excuses that defy logic. That's what the YWC is all about. Nakamurphy deserves this position because he's been in New Japan for over a decade. Well, good. Have him stay there for another fucking decade. Have him stay away from the wrestlers because he's fucking dangerous. He likes to break people's necks. And, it's not even like the guy could apologize because all he does is fucking speak Japanese, you fucking Mahalukes. There you go, guys. There's your fucking SmackDown review. I fucking hope to God that they don't give the belt to Nakamurphy, but they probably will. This has been your YWC champ, signing out.